How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. Now, on today's show, we're going to be speaking about Spurs, and they have finally overturned their ridiculous decision to furlough their staff members. We're also going to be speaking about Harry Kane and the possibility of him leaving Spurs in the summer. And the last piece of news will be involving the Premier League as they start to put plans in place for the season to be completed, but behind closed doors.
I represent my fucking self.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right. So the first place we're going to start is this story about Spurs. And they have finally reversed their decision to furlough staff members. An embarrassing decision in the first place, which caused a lot of uproar, not just from fans within football, but from their own fans who were absolutely disgusted by the actions that Tottenham had sought. Especially when you look at the fact that Daniel Levy had just received a £4 million bonus on top of his £3 million salary. Now, the report says that Tottenham have reversed their decision to use the government's furlough scheme following criticism from their own supporters and will pay their staff in full. Spurs chairman Daniel Levy said at the end of March they would reduce the wage of 550 staff members by 20%, whilst utilising the government scheme with a number of staff furloughed during the outbreak. The decision led to widespread criticism and scrutiny, and Tottenham made a U-turn on Monday, stating all non-playing staff will receive 100% of their pay for April and May. A statement from Spurs read, "We are acutely aware that many supporters were against the decision we made regarding furloughing staff who could not carry out their jobs from home due to the nature of their work, and our intention to apply, if applicable, for the coronavirus job retention scheme, a scheme designed to ensure that jobs and employment rights are protected." Indeed, we have seen opposition from fans to fellow Premier League clubs assessing the scheme. This once again underlines that we bear different pressures to other businesses, many of whom have and will continue to apply for support from the scheme as the government intended. In view of supporter sentiment regarding the scheme, it is now not our intention to make use of the scheme that runs until the end of May. We shall consult with stakeholders, including the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust, with whom we have been in dialogue over the past week and who share our desire to protect jobs, should circumstances change moving forward. So what I look at reading between the lines here is that Tottenham don't look overly happy that they've had to make this U-turn. You know, they're citing the fact that they've got pressures different to other businesses, mentioning that other businesses will be able to apply for these schemes and there's no issues about it. But because they're Tottenham, a Premier League club, there seems to be a big backlash. Well, I'm sorry, that's not what it's about. You're a Premier League club. You're owned by a billionaire. Daniel Levy, like I've already said, has just received a £4 million bonus on top of his £3 million salary. There's some of the reasons why people are embarrassed and why you shouldn't be applying for this scheme. So the simple reason being is that Tottenham have been embarrassed into making this U-turn. Don't look at this U-turn in any way, shape or form as being a great thing by the club. Oh, wonderful. Look at Spurs. Amazing. They've made a U-turn. They've only done it because of the backlash. Same thing as Liverpool, but Spurs have taken longer. Daniel Levy and all his little minions were probably sat there and thinking, now, you know what, the dust will settle, they'll all go quiet eventually, and in a few weeks' time, it'll blow over, and we can just carry on about our business. But as the weeks have gone by, Liverpool making a U-turn, the pressure's being ramped up more and more and more on Spurs, to the point where they can't wait. They can't, leave it and it will blow over. They have to make this decision. They're not happy about it. You can tell they're not happy about it. Unlucky. Serious as that. Paid 100% of your staff's wages. Deal with it. End of story. Unlucky. Now we're going to stick with Spurs and Harry Kane. And the reports are stating that Harry Kane is open to a potential world record transfer to Manchester United at the end of the season. The Tottenham forward, who is now 26, has been considering his future for several months, primarily because he wants to be in the best position to challenge for trophies. You remember I spoke recently on my DT's Daily about Harry Kane saying, you know, on Instagram, you know, call with Jamie Redknapp, I think it was, that, you know, he won't rule out leaving Spurs. Harry Kane is yet to earn a winner's medal at Spurs and sparked renewed uncertainty over his future earlier this month, saying that he would not stay at Spurs for the sake of it. His warning towards a possible move towards Old Trafford this year may encourage United boss Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to launch an audacious bid. Signing the England captain would be a major statement of the club's ambition. United have a history of signing the Premier League's leading talents, and Kane is one of the most sought-after strikers in Europe. His capture would also raise the exciting prospect of him playing alongside fellow English strikers Marcus Rashford and Mason Greenwood. Tottenham's £200 million asking price could prove a stumbling block though, and there is confidence in North London that no club will get close to such a valuation. £200 million. Wow. Don't get me wrong, I rate Harry Kane and he can score some goals, but £200 million? I don't think even Manchester United would pay £200 million. And how would that look in the current climate and the situation that we're going through? If a club can just turn around and throw out £200 million to buy a player. I don't think we're going to be seeing those kind of transfers for quite a while yet. I don't think that you're going to be seeing transfers that are 70, 80, 90 million pound. I think that a lot of the transfers in the market are going to be less, 20 to 40 million. Some players will probably go cheaper than they normally would. Maybe the market might level itself back out again and there won't be this over-exaggerated, inflated prices anymore. Because £200 million, don't get me wrong, he's a talented boy and he can score goals. But £200 million, man, that's a lot of money, man. I don't think even Manchester United would pay that kind of money, and they've got a lot of money. 200 million, wow, that's just madness. And Daniel Levy, yeah, he's the type of guy that would hold out for every single penny of that, as the last story already proved, didn't it? So, Harry Kane may well be on his way out of Spurs, but if anybody wants to buy him, they've got to cough up some serious money, that's for sure. Last story involves the Premier League. Now, of course, we've all been asking the question as to when we will start the season again. There's been many dates mentioned and, you know, nothing is concrete. I don't think football should be starting or playing in any way, shape or form while the world's in the situation we are in. But a number of Premier League clubs believe their games will be played behind closed doors if and when competition action returns this season. The Premier League's Director of Football, Richard Garlick, along with the league's medical advisor, Mark Gillette, are liaising with clubs on a regular basis on player welfare and what could realistically be expected of players if and when the season resumes. Meanwhile, the FA is offering both Wembley and St George's Park as venues to finish the Premier League season, should the league make the request. Reports had suggested both venues could be used as part of a festival of football to accommodate the completion of the 2019-20 season. The use of the venues, in particular St George's Park, would offer the ability to play a number of games on the same day, and having a 228-room hotel on site, a place for players and officials to stay in one place and mitigate travelling. The Premier League has been considering the possibility of playing games behind closed doors, and the complex would be ideally placed geographically to accommodate such a decision. More Premier League clubs are this week expected to announce agreements with players over wage deferrals and wage cuts. Last week's Premier League shareholders video conference focused on the immediate concerns over financing of clubs in the Premier League, EFL and on down the footballing pyramid. It is thought this Friday's meeting will spend more time discussing the various options for a return to playing Premier League matches. So the issue I got here, like I've said already, is playing any type of football right now with what's going on in the world, for me, is wrong. If people are out there still dying, you know, even if it's 100, 200 and we've, you know, knocked the curve right down, it's still people dying. And you're worried about playing a game of football, you know, and the way that they talk about festival of football, like it's some celebration. We've got nothing to be celebrating. There's thousands upon thousands of people dying. What have we got to celebrate? Yes, it would be nice to get some football on. Yes, it would be nice to do something different from being stuck indoors every single day. But this is the life we have to live right now. The last of anybody's concerns should be football matches. You know, and I've gone on to this so many times in what I feel. I don't think that there are going to be any football matches until around about September, October. You know, there's people even saying it might not even be till 2021. We're never going to get over, you know, the severity of the coronavirus within the space of a few weeks, even a few months. It's just constant. And until we get the vaccine and we're able to control it that way, you know, there's always the risk of, you know, constant second waves of the virus and everything. And then what? We get out and then we got to go back into lockdown. And, you know, all it takes is one player to have symptoms. It might not have the coronavirus. He might just have the common flu, the cold or something. But the symptoms are similar to coronavirus. So all of a sudden, bang, everyone goes into isolation and we're all back to square one. Not for me. And it'd be interesting to find out what happens in this meeting on Friday and what kind of decisions are put forward. That's for sure. And I know they were talking about, you know, the issues with clubs and wage deferrals with players and everything. And I've seen some reports over the last 24 hours or so with Arsenal being involved. And the reports are stating that Arsenal players are refusing to take a wage cut if they don't make it to the Champions League and whatnot. Now, what I'll say about that situation at the moment is we have no concrete evidence in terms of, you know, the report that's being put out there. It's being reported by John Cross. There's no direct quotes. There's no actual evidence or proof that any of this has taken place, or if any of it is true. It's just literally hearsay from John Cross. That's it. So until something concrete comes out, until the club speak about it and we have actual evidence either way as to what's happening, then I will deal with that in the news show, and what will be will be. If Arsenal players are in the wrong, you can guarantee I will go in. But if they're not, then I'll go in on the reports that are trying to stir up this crap in the first place. So there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think about today's topics. If you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you smash a like on this video. I will see you a lot soon. I'm out of here.